Zaczynamy program Poza Rządem.
Hello, good evening. It's Irmina from the STRIM Association. And again, like every month since October, I want to invite you for a program EVS Streaming Live, when we talk about EVS program, European Voluntary Service Program, and its participants, but not only. This month we are going to discuss about education and different phases of it. And I would like to invite you to the discussion with my guests, with the volunteers, and we are going to exchange the experience and opinions between different countries. So on the beginning, I would like my guests to introduce themselves.
Cześć, my name is Cornelia, but everybody calls me Coco, and I'm from Austria. I live in Vienna, and currently I'm doing my EVS here in Krakow, and I'm working in a kindergarten. Yeah.
Hey, hello, I'm Clara, I'm from France, and as my friend said, we are volunteers in Association STRIM in Krakow. I am also working in kindergarten, and that's all.
Speaking about your experience with education tonight, Clara and Coco, what is the best experience or thing you learned, you discovered in your adventure with the formal education till now?
For me, I think it was for sure we had a lot of working groups, and I learned like there's always one member who doesn't do anything, and it was never me.
That's actually a very good lesson you took. Again, I say, once you enter the world of the university, you keep in mind that rule. That's a very useful thing to know, to identify the person and to not to be that person.
Yeah, and I think I learned a lot of this because I was always like the leading role. So I divided work and I had the organization. So I learned how to organize people, also organize myself. So I'm quite organized person. That's something where I can say that's really what I learned. Maybe also because the school was like chaos. So I learned how to make myself organized.
How to manage the chaos.
Yes,
not to lose yourself, not to get crazy.
My best thing I learned, I think it's something about organization also. When I had a test, for example, I always said, no, I have time to learn, I have time to learn it, but I always wait the last time, and of course I fail. But I learned that when we want to do something, we have to take time to have reflection on this on a topic and not wait the last moment to have reflection to make something with this idea.
To revise.
Revise.
That's also, I would say, the things you are saying, you will make such a big use out of it once you go for the university, because that's the biggest problem of the students, myself included, that we leave things, for the exam session. Even if you like the topic, usually you don't find time to study it a little bit before. So girls, I guess you will be very good students with the experience you have. No, seriously.
We know the stuff.
I was always lucky in this case. When I was waiting for the last moment, and always I was lucky because the test was quite easy. It's why I not really fail. I mean, I fail, but because I'm perfectionist.
Yes, and smart and modest. Nice. I think you will rule the university. Nothing can surprise you, because you got already some nice ideas, like how to manage the situation, like being in the education system, how to survive with good results. And what about some maybe less formal aspect of the formal education? I wanted to ask you here about culture and subculture back in your schools. Did you meet some phenomena, different groups of people? What were the differences? Maybe something in clothing, or did you personally belong to some group back in your school?
I think in our school we had 4 departments. I was in multimedia, and sometimes we said okay, we're like Hogwarts and multimedia, we are Hufflepuff, so we are okay. We're not the coolest, but we're also not Slytherin. So that was quite cool. But like there was the people who did graphic design, they were always like the coolest, and they were not dressing up as the coolest person, but they were just like, you saw them and you were like, okay, they do graphic design, they know stuff, they do stuff. And then there are us people, we're not doing so much, we're doing like only what is really necessary, but like a lot of people of this multimedia section, they were like the cool, they think they are really cool, they dressed like hipster, it was a big thing in Austria. And everybody, when you say, oh, I was in this school, everybody's like, wow, you're in this school, oh, you're a hipster, you're so cool, wow, let's be friends. So I think my whole school was a bit like cool.
Fancy and nice.
Fancy, yes.
Nice.
All my high school, as I said, is Catholic and private, so everybody look at us as we are the richest and as we are the always in the religion, that we are always reading the Bible and something like that. And
Which you probably did all the time, no?
I didn't, but I know a lot about religion because I heard about and I met a lot of people who are working and giving themselves in this in the religion. But we have also in my high school all the, as Coco said, sections. I was in economic and social one, so we are the one who are open on the world. There was also the science section, all the people who are working always with experiences, and they're always wearing white clothes. It was also the one in the literature section, always reading in the backyard or something like that. We had also, and the professional section, all the people say that they are always boring and cooking in the class or something like that. They are annoying. But
Sounds really interesting. I think it was more boring back in my school, you know, like the division was not that obvious, that we didn't show it with clothes or stuff like this. And speaking about the clothes, like how do you remember, were there any like particular regulations about this, how you should look at school? How could you look at school?
I can say about my school, like everything was okay. In summer, girls were having really short pants.
Really short pants.
Really short pants.
What means?
Like half ass out could be.
Half, okay.
It was, I mean,
Half leg out or?
yes. But also like it was, there are people, they were coming and I was looking at them, I think, okay, they didn't change, they're still wearing the pajamas. Really, it was
cool.
It was so okay to come like as you want. And also we had one girl in our class and she was doing her makeup in the school. So she came like really in this bad look, like she came just from bed. Then she did her makeup and she was like superstar and really a lot. And I mean the teachers, they were always saying like, come on, what are you doing? We're not in the beauty salon. And she was like, okay, and doing it still, you know.
Sounds familiar. Remember these girls also.
Yeah.
in my high school it was totally different. We just couldn't have trousers with a hole in the pants, you know. We just can't wear a skirt, very short skirt. It's forbidden.
So no half leg or half ass out.
Yeah, we
pants.
can, but we have to wear something under. I mean, not
yeah.
naked under, of course, but no. All the students were very well dressed. I mean,
Like elegant or?
elegant, yes, very elegant. And sometimes we saw, you can see girls, and you say, "Wow, you are going to a party," and she said, "No, I'm going to school." Okay, but she was wearing party dress.
Okay.
Wow.
So some
No pyjama, eh?
yeah, pajamas in Austria in the school of Coco, and
Yeah.
then you know you enter the school of Clara and girls dressed out as for the final party, yeah, in school. Interesting. I remember I asked you about that because I think it's very important. Like it's very important to me. What's the attitude of the school, of the director, towards like this, the expression and the fashion among students, how much it's controlled or not. And I remember that I was really, really angry when back in my high school, my director stopped me on the corridor. Like I was always trying to dress really like colorful, in a colorful way, which fortunately passed already. It's behind me, but I was wearing this. I tried to wear like a colorful pants, and I had like red pants, trousers, and that was too much. And I was stopped, and I had a big discussion with her. And since that day, I really limited my feelings towards her. And I really thought that the school starts to be really super oppressive. And I remember the day. And I couldn't do anything about this, and I felt like it's really unfair. So, I somehow envy your experience. Maybe now, I think now it's changed. It's much more free at the school. Probably. It also depends from the school. And all right. So about the culture, we were talking about like this expression in clothing. That there were actually some groups, as you said. I wanted to ask you about the perception, your perception or your friends' perception about some phenomena which are super related with students at high school or college. So, such as cheating in the exams. Or skipping the school, just like cutting classes and going somewhere for a juice.
I would never think about this. Skipping school? Wow, no, I never skipped school. I don't know what to say. I never missed school. No.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. No. Oh, just once. Yes, once I
Say sorry, now say sorry. Then we will send this material to your teachers.
No, I missed once, yes, because I just wanted to revise my final exam, and I had to come back in the school in the Wednesday afternoon to work. This is the punishment when you are not going to school. You have to go again the Wednesday afternoon to work.
Okay.
Once only.
Your sins are
And
forgiven.
cheating, of course, I have already. But
Who didn't?
what?
Who didn't cheat? No.
Yeah, it was not for important exams, so I feel okay.
Yeah, this question about cheating in exams, it's not to make you feel bad or to say I did or not. You don't have to, but it's just I'm really interested to know. Because also I have some experience. I have actually some experience comparing with the French educational system, and I'm asking you this: how is it seen, like in your countries? Because maybe just like continuing this topic, in Poland, you are cool if you let others to cheat. Like you give, like you share your knowledge, right? And you're not cool, and you can even lose your pals or friends if you say if you are assertive and you say no, come on, I'm not going to share with you, I'm not going to help you, right? I'm really curious how is it for you?
I think it's the same for me. I was always this good student, and I learned, and I had always notes from every lesson. And the people were always, oh, you learned so much, blah, blah. But at the same time, they were happy because I shared my notes. I put them online so everybody could get them. And I think in the end, I was the only one who really participated in the lessons. But I needed to, because if I participated, it was easier for me. And also the class had something from it. So.
Okay.
And about skipping classes, it's in my school, sometimes the teacher doesn't show up. So you skip class, but he's also not there. And I always took school really serious. I didn't skip, I think, 3 years, but in the last 2 years, and especially in the last one, I was really. Sometimes it was in the evening we were discussing on Facebook. Tomorrow you go to school? No, no. Okay, let's stay at home. And then we just stayed at home a whole day. So, like in the last year, it's so common in our school that you're only going for the subjects you will have for your final exam, and the teacher they have to accept it.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, also there were some cases where students go out of school for a lunch break, came back later, maybe 1 hour later, and then they were drunk in school.
No way.
That's our school. Like, and the teachers, yeah, they have to be okay with it. I mean, it's not happening every day, but it happened that we had drunk lessons.
It couldn't happen in School of Clara, I'm sure of that.
Of course, no.
But it's the teachers, I mean, the young teachers, they think it's funny and they make fun of us, and it was a good school for like fun, and
It's so interesting and so controversial. And I just wanted to tell you very briefly, like this experience I had with the educational system in France. But actually, I was in the university and I've done my Erasmus program in one of the schools in France. And I remember the day when there was a big scandal in the school because we had some exam, and Erasmus students plus regular students, because we had the same, like, 2 classes together. Back then I was studying tourism, which is irrelevant actually. But the scandal was that someone cheated on the exam, you know, they found out. They caught the person during the exam, so she couldn't continue and stuff like this. And then, like, the teachers made me and my friends feel really bad because they were mentioning it, that like it's really inappropriate. And the girl who was cheating, he was a Polish girl. I didn't even know her. I had nothing in common with her, but you know, then the reputation of the Polish students was like, oh, these are these bad students, you know, who cheat on the exams. And I was like, oh my God, girl, you know,
why?
why did you really have to bring the practices, the Polish practices, to the French school? And honestly, back then when I was studying in France, I didn't have a courage to cheat, because I thought to myself, this is like, you know, if I will be like, if it happens in Poland, doesn't matter maybe, but if it happens there and I could have some problems, it's like,
Yeah.
I was too afraid, and it was just like stupid, I think. But yeah, the reputation stayed with me till the end of my stay. And I remember from that experience, just like I understood that it can be really a big thing for some people, you know, that the student cheat, which
Yeah.
back here was not really
My
such
only
a big deal.
reason, I mean, to cheat was because I didn't have time to study all I had
Yes.
to. But I know that for big exam, I took time to revise and to have good mark
Nice.
Yes.
and not cheat.
I think it's also when you cheat, it's like you don't have respect of this subject. And if, I mean, there were subjects I had no respect of it because it was really not interesting for me, and the teacher was really not good. So I cheated like all the time. But I know it's now, you know, it's past, and I will not need this stuff for my life.
Yes, yes.
But when it's something important for you and something important for the education, and you know that, and the teacher is good, I was always okay with studying really hard.
Sure, you don't even feel like doing this, right?
No, yeah.
Thank you for sharing this. Like we discussed quite a lot about the formal aspect of the education in your countries and in my country. And we are going to have a small break now. So we will listen to the song Feather and Stone, again by Deep Down Inside, and then we will continue our discussion.